Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to this edition of SportsView on NerdMedia.tv on Monday, the 6th of October, 2025. Good evening, Joe Waters, and welcome.
Evening, Pat.
And Joe joins every Monday night as usual. And Derwin may be in later on as well. I don't know, but he's welcome to join in. And welcome to everybody who's tuning into this at this moment in time. All the information is on there. You can email us, you can phone us, text us, or you can make a comment directly into the show on anything you hear. And generally speaking, we start off with soccer on the Premiership. And there were wins for Bournemouth, Spurs, Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, Villa, Everton, Newcastle, and Man City. Now, my son and grandson were over in Old Trafford. They happened to go over the right weekend from a Manchester United fan, anyway, you know. And this is the atmosphere before the match. For people who are fans of any Premiership team to pay a visit to their ground is a delight enough for them, you know. But anyway, they thoroughly enjoyed their day anyway, doubly so. But Joe, I suppose we won't say Manchester United turned the corner, but a result like that is good for United.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about it last week, I mean, they've just got to build on results slowly, and start getting things going in the right direction and just keep building. I mean, obviously they got a tough one after the international break. They play Liverpool.
But
But,
as you're
you know,
saying, yeah,
you
Liverpool's
just never
form
know.
has been patchy.
Yeah, well, Liverpool, I mean, I was looking at something yesterday. For all Liverpool's failings or seem to be failings, people saying this, that, and the other, there's still a point of where they were ahead of where they were this time last year.
Yeah, yeah.
So even though they're integrating all these new players into the club and into the Premier League and into their way of playing and the whole thing, they're still ahead of the game. So um, sometimes little things like that, uh, people see mountains out of molehills.
Yeah.
They forget. I remember talking to Johnny Giles a few years ago when Leeds were winning the league, and we were on international duty at the time, and I just said to him, I said, John, I said, he lost three in a row. He said, yeah, Joe, but they're the only three games we lost all year. So it's all relative, So they still won the league by a
And of
good
course,
distance.
there's only 7 games gone, but every game seems to be carry on an importance of its own. We have a few more vacancies for people if they're interested. Rangers sacked their manager, so there's a vacancy there for anybody looking tonight. You get all the information online about the job anyway. Also, Luton Town sacked Bloomfield as well, and well, there you go. And Nottingham Forest are not playing well, and there's a lot of disquiet down the club against the manager. So there may be a vacancy there again soon. You don't know. You don't
Well,
know.
that's a right mess. Nottingham Forest is right now. I
It
mean, I
is.
remember a couple of weeks ago we were saying when the guy was predicting where teams were going to finish, he
Yeah.
might well be right about Nottingham Forest actually being in the
Yeah.
relegation zone because the owner just seems to have lost the plot. I mean, with what he's doing, and I mean, you had a guy that was there like Nuno that had him playing and playing well and getting good results.
A very good organized system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now you get Angie, and we've seen what happens with his teams. They're not exactly the best defensively. Although I did watch the game, Newcastle with Spurs. and I thought, or with Forrest, and
Yeah,
I thought they were very hard done to. You know, the guy that was co-commentating on it was a little bit Newcastle biased. I thought the first goal that Newcastle scored was a foul. Um,
yeah.
but
Well, you get a lot of people agreeing with you there. There's no doubt about yeah. There's no doubt
yeah,
about that.
so and I
How
thought
did
the
you
second
highlight
one
it?
was a little bit as well. Uh, the penalty I thought was kind of softish, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
But we all know when things are going against you, that's what happens.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just seems like an avalanche at the time.
I always hold my breath when there's a VAR check. I said to myself,
Yeah.
and that's ages after the play. I mean, it's we spoke about VAR so often. We're not going to do it again, but it's ruining the game.
Well, it is. I mean, it like we said before, it takes all the joy out of it because a goal is supposed to be something that happens spontaneously, and the crowd are celebrating it
Yeah,
jubilantly, and then you have to wait for this thing to be complete. You know.
flashing up on the screen, VAR
Yeah.
check.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
taken a little bit the fun away from it, in my opinion.
we were seeing as a result of the matches over the weekend, Arsenal are top of the league on 16 points. Liverpool have 15, Spurs have 14, Bournemouth have 14, Man City on 13, Palace on 12, Chelsea on 11, Everton on 11, Sunderland on 11, Man United are on 10 points. The bottom four are Forest on 5 points, Burnley on 4, and West Ham on 4, and Wolves on 2. They're the
Yeah,
bottom four after 7 matches, so 2 points out of 21. Is that a good return?
yeah.
Uh,
It's I
yeah.
think the Midlands clubs are are not looking great at the moment. It seems. But,
But as we said before, Joe, it's not a football club anymore now you're dealing with in the Premiership. You're dealing with business, big money, big business.
oh yeah, yeah,
That
you are.
that dimension is slowly taking making football secondary consideration,
Yeah,
In my opinion, anyway. You know.
yeah. Well, I read an article the other day. Um, I was reading about Paul Kimmage,
Oh
and
yeah. Good writer, Paul.
yeah, he is a good writer, and he was writing a story on God, who was the story on? But Tony Cascarino was a part of it because people are digging into the private lives of people and what have you. But he had another story in there about when did when did footballers stop being ordinary people? Um, I mean, it used to be that footballers were accessible to the fans, to everybody. They lived in the local community.
Down
Uh,
to the local pub for a pint.
yeah, and now you hardly see them. I mean, when I was telling you earlier, we were over in Grimsby last year, and the people in the front office will tell you they don't see the players anymore. We used to see the front office people every day, so it's like uh, you're not allowed near the training ground anymore. I mean, when we used to train in in the old days, there'd be old guys walking their dogs by the side of the field, you know.
Play a few Rangers and Pike Rovers, here we come.
Yeah, and I saw a photograph of Jimmy Bloomfield and Keith Weller, Frank Worthington, a few of
Yeah,
the lads at John Samuels, Alan Birchenough, uh,
yeah,
Leicester City at Beaver Drive, the training ground. And Jim is talking to the players, and they all look like they were in their street clothes. So I don't know whether it was the day that Jimmy was getting let go or what it was. But there's a young fella standing behind him, listening to what was being said. You know, he wouldn't get anywhere near the place now,
no,
in this day
it's
and age.
it's all
Uh,
changed. It's all
yeah,
changed.
so, I mean, it we used to have people up there all the time that would just wander in and watch training and then leave.
Yeah,
That's a whole thing of the past now. Um,
yeah, it is gone away. I remember in the 70s, got lots of shows you could shake hands with the player or wish him well and congrats, well done, you know.
oh yeah, yeah.
Anybody, but there's none of that done, you know. And it's I think it's overprotective. It's creating that distance from the fans who are paying hard earned cash to watch them, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I, if you can dig it up, you should look at the look for the quote that Sir Bobby Robson had, and maybe it was in his book that he had it, but he described what it was to be a young kid to walk in the ground for the first time and to see that pitch in front of you, and then see these players run out in front of you, and you fall in love with the club and the game.
Yeah,
And he said that's hardly a thing anymore. That
yeah.
the club is really about the fans and the players.
It should be. It should be,
And
yeah.
there's a disconnect between the two right now, which should not be. You know, the players should be available to fans. That's what I think about it.
Well, I see, Joe, your former club, Grimsby, are flying high in League Two. As a result of the results, Walsall are top in League Two with 25, Swindon have 24, Grimsby have 21, Gillingham have 21, Salford City have 19, MK Dons 18, and Cambridge United 18. They're the top seven clubs in League Two, so they're going well. Grimsby are going
Yeah,
well.
they are.
They're going very well. Now we have, as we know, as we said, there'll be an international break coming up the weekend. During the week, there'll be a whole heap of World Cup matches, and Portugal are playing the Republic of Ireland in an absolute, well, every match the Republic plays is crucial, but this of all of them, they have to win these next two games against Portugal and Armenia. I was looking at the table. There's no other scenario will do them, you know. And I don't know how equipped Ferguson was left out of the Roma team over the weekend because the manager said he's not fit enough, you know. And he's one of our mainstay players on the Republic team, and he got a run out in the end. But Roma are top of the league now, as you know, in Italy. But he's with a good club, and I think they look after him. But I hope he's okay for the international match against Portugal. So we need all the players. I don't know what kind of a result they'll get against Portugal. Are they capable of? I don't know that. But I just hope they will do themselves justice.
Well, we certainly need something positive out of the game. I mean, to be honest, even if it's a good performance, then at least that's a step in the right direction
Yeah.
after what happened in the last game.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got to see some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, and if it's not when you're digging out results, it's got to be when you're at least putting the performance in, and it it's disappointing to go to. Was it Armenia we lost to in that last game?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's disappointing when you lose to a country that you really feel you you should be doing better against.
You should be getting your 3 points off of the likes of Armenia. With all respect to Armenia, we know they can play soccer, most teams can play soccer, but Ireland should, if they have any aspirations, they should be getting at least 4 points out of these two games. I think at the minimum, a draw against Portugal and a win against Armenia wouldn't be the end of the world. It would be a platform for them to build on. You know.
Yeah, it would, and that would be a real positive step forward if they
Yeah.
were to do that. So hopefully we can pull that off
And you
and
have
make it work.
you have the evergreen Ronaldo still playing international soccer.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
Well,
I just love the man. I just love
yeah.
watching him. He's
Well, I
just,
mean, he is a specimen, that's for sure.
he's
Uh,
fit. He's
yeah, oh
fit.
yeah, he takes care of himself,
Does, yeah. And
and
he's rarely injured. He's rarely injured.
right, because he lives properly and he eats
Does, yeah.
properly and
As you say,
trains
he
properly.
looks after himself. You know, and England are already qualified for the World Cup anyway. I think. You know, and I think they're playing Latvia or someone like that. Anyway, in rugby over the weekend, the URC continued apace, the United Rugby Championship, and Leinster tasted defeat again for second week in a row. The Bulls, South Africa, beat them 39-31. Munster had a cracking win against Cardiff, 23-20. Got up Jack Crawley, well done Jack with the top goal. They won 23-20. And over in France at top 14, we keep an eye on, what I keep an eye on, um, um, Ronan O'Gara's team, La Rochelle. They tasted defeat again to Montpellier, 37-13. So that's in the top 14. I think they're fifth now in the table, but early days yet in that, you know. Down south then, in the championship, rugby championship down south, they finalised that over the weekend. And New Zealand beat Australia 28-14. And South Africa, a very tight match against Argentina, but they prevailed 29-20. So South Africa won the championship. They had equal points with New Zealand, 19 points each, but they had a far superior scoring, plus 57 to the All Blacks, plus 8. Australia finished up in third with 11 points, and Argentina were 10 points. That South African team are a juggernaut in world rugby at the moment. I think we're penciled in excuse me, for a match against them next month
Yeah.
against South Africa. I don't know what kind of a team South Africa will bring, but if they'll bring anything close to their full team, I can't see Ireland having any chance in the match against them.
It'll be interesting. I mean,
So,
we talked last week about, South Africa walloping Argentina, right? They took it to them. And of course, then and we said about Argentina, they can be prone to getting
yeah, that's
taking a
fine.
big beating, but then they come back in the next match and they play like their lives depend on it. And maybe that's what happened with the New Zealand match. But what's going on with Leinster? I mean, I was reading something the other day in the Irish Independent that a guy that had left and gone over to England to play over there had said when he left that something hadn't been right at Leinster for the last couple of years, and he didn't feel it. He felt it was time to move on from there. So,
Well,
and these results certainly seem to be. Um,
bearing that out, yeah.
I mean, is it just a hangover from last year from losing?
I
Was
don't
it
know
in
what
the
it is,
fun?
but I mean, if you're, for people who live here in Ireland and follow rugby, when you look at the provinces, Munster, Ulster, Connacht, and Leinster, the amount of money that's gone into Leinster is astonishing. It's astonishing
Yeah.
in comparison to the other three provinces.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm reading, and rugby now is in that sense is a little bit like football.
Yeah,
In that I was reading that Leinster have two distinct squads that they have that
yeah,
play
yeah,
different, competitions kind of thing. So
yeah,
um, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, but we all know how much money is going in there and what have you, and it, it it can't be good for rugby in Ireland because they, if they're going to have all the money, then they're going to draw all the international
I
uh,
mean,
top
yeah,
international players to
the
them.
the Black chap Bowden Barrett played with them the last years, you
Yeah,
know. There's no other province now that could afford him.
right. But
Nobody else can only
and
themselves.
this is the thing, you know, that the rest of the world should be thanking the Premier League for making their international teams better,
Yes, yes.
because that's what's killing Wales, Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland. The the amount of players that we have playing in the Premier League now is
It's tiny.
so small compared to what it used to be in the past.
Oh, in the heyday, in the 70s and 80s, so we had most of the Irish team were playing
Yeah,
in the Premiership. Most of them. Well, the majority of them. But now there's only one or two, is it? One or two?
there's a couple. I mean, there's
Ferguson plays
Italy,
in Italy, and Troy Parrott plays with AZ Alkmaar in
right,
Holland.
and then you have Jake O'Brien playing for Everton.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you have
Ida playing with Celtic.
yeah, and then you have what's his name? That's the captain of Brentford, isn't he? He's an
Oh
Irish
yeah,
guy.
I
So,
forget. I forget now.
so
I know who you're talking about. I forget his name.
yeah, so it just, you know, I mean, you look at it and you're going, you know, Seamus Coleman is brought back to the squad, and Seamus, don't get me wrong, Seamus has been a great player for us, absolutely fantastic player for us over the years. But at this point in time, he should be playing really a very small role on the team, if
Well, hmm,
if not moving on to the you know, the coaching side of it. Um,
I don't think he'll do a job against Portugal.
no, probably not. Probably not. But he may be there just for his leadership qualities
Yeah, and
and
support.
for all that he brings in that area.
He's been a fantastic player for Ireland.
Oh yes,
And
he has. He's been a fantastic. I mean, what did he cost Everton? 40 grand or something like that?
like that, yeah.
Yeah. When he moved, well, he moved from Sligo to there. You
He's
know.
been a fabulous player. A
Yeah.
fabulous,
Yeah. He's
a
been
model.
terrific.
Now we had a bit of sad news over the weekend, internationally speaking, and another rugby player has been diagnosed with motor neuron disease. One of the rugby players with the English rugby winning team in the World Cup, Lewis Moody. If any, I know, do people remember Lewis Moody, a fine all action player in the ruck? He set up the ruck that led to the setting up for the drop goal that England won the World Cup with. And they just like to play a small bit. Now, motor neuron disease, as you know,
It's
is,
horrible.
is a death sentence.
Oh, it's horrible. Absolutely
Uh,
horrible.
And most people who are diagnosed with it are either dead within 1 year or 2 years. I mean, it's a horrific statistic, and you know, it's just I don't know how to describe, it, but I don't know what I'd do if I was it. But this is Lewis Moody talking
We
about it.
processed lots of emotions over the last couple of weeks, and I suppose when you talk about it, and I generally feel fine when you talk about it. It's never me that I feel sad for. It's the sort of sadness around having to tell my mum, having to tell the boys. I mean, you know, two brilliant boys, and that was pretty heartbreaking, wasn't it? But I don't want to get stuck in the negativity or the doom and gloom, and I want to stay positive. I want to, you know, stay in the moment. I want to learn and understand what it is. I want to speak to more people and see where we can help as well. And hopefully, you know, another couple of challenges left in the body yet. It's still working. It's still with me, and until it's at a point that, you know, it isn't. I suppose, you know, hopefully there'll be some suits available at that point that I could jump into. But yeah, the future's uncertain at the minute, I suppose, isn't it? So that's why we're just focused on now.
Well, that was Lewis Moody. He has two teenage boys, and
Yeah.
as you mentioned there, and it luckily enough, I read another bit. The rugby community has rallied around him anyway, for any support he can give him, And we wish him well. For God's sake, it's a
Yeah,
terrible
it's
effect to
horrible.
have.
And he played for the Tigers, right? That's the
And
Tigers.
that's the Tigers, huh?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
did.
yeah. It's that is really hard when you see that happening to anybody. It's it's so horrible. Uh,
uh, over, over the weekend. We had Sanderson Farms Golf Championship in Jackson. Where's Jackson again? Jackson is in Mississippi, is it?
Mississippi, yeah, Jackson, Mississippi,
Jackson.
and Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, Jackson, Jackson, Mississippi was playing. And I never heard of him before. Stephen Fisk from America won the tournament at minus 24. I thought Devon would be on tonight to explain this minus 24 touch. We're talking about these massive, excuse me, massive scores in golf. Anyway, he shot a 70, two 65s, and a 64. And I just want to ask Devon to speak about the nature of the course they were playing on because I'm not a golf expert by any manner of means. But anyway, he won it. Our own Seamus Power was playing in the same tournament, and he played out for the whole weekend, so he finished at -8. A credible performance, top 40, Seamus Power. The Alfred Dunhill came to a conclusion in Scotland. One round was washed out. They confined it to 3 rounds, and Robert McIntyre, who else from Scotland, won the Alfred Dunhill at -18 with 3 rounds of 66. Fair play to Robert McIntyre. He carried his form from the Ryder Cup. Till Hatton was the runner-up with -14. And then in the ladies, in the Lottie Championship, the Chinese won it. Yu Min Huang at -17. She won that, and Charlie Hull was the better of the home players as we described them, Europeans. She finished at -10. So that was played. That was played in perfect conditions, just sunshine. When I saw one or two of the rounds, it was very good, you know. And at the moment, the tennis circuit is on over in China with Wuhan and the Shanghai Masters. And Amanda Anisimova have won the ladies' final and love 6-6-2, 6-2. Anyway, she won that. That's her second 1000 series title of the year. She's doing very well for herself. And the men are still playing. Sinner retired injured in his match. Alcaraz was injured beforehand, so he's not playing. Novak Djokovic has a chance of winning the tournament, but he won his last match anyway. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. Excuse me. The Formula One train pulled into Singapore over the weekend, as we call it. And I must say, I watched a good bit of the Grand Prix. It was on at 1 o'clock our time Sunday, yesterday. And but I like watching the beginning of it. But Russell won it from Verstappen, and Norris was third and Piastri fourth. So the drivers' championship is being led by Oscar Piastri on 336 points. Norris is on 314. Anybody who can do the maths, you get 25 points for a win. So there's only one win between them. Max Verstappen is on 273. I think he's a bit too far back to win it. And Russell is on 237. So they're leading the field, those four. And it looks like it's between Piastri and Norris for the Drivers' Championship. Also, people up the road here in GA circles, believe it or not, I know it's windy and rainy over the weekend, but there were hurling matches and the Clare County Hurling Championship was played up the road from us here in Ennis. And the team from Ennis Town, Aero, won the title by the beat Donegal, and they won the title for the first time in 35 years. So that was in there. In Cork, the final will be played in 2 weeks' time between Sarsfields of anybody who might know where Sarsfields is. It's in the outside Glenmire in Cork City on the Waterford Road club is located. They're playing who are they playing in the final? They're playing Middleton in the final, and they'll be on in the week there. And I didn't catch up with any other results there for the over the weekend. Getting back to the soccer over the weekend now, Joe, we'll have the internationals over the weekend. A lot of people pay a lot of money to see the Republic of Ireland playing, and I don't know what to say other than is there enough money going into the game in Ireland? Oh, by the way, before we leave, well, we're on to soccer. The FAI Cup semi-finals were on over the weekend. Cork City beat St. Patrick's Athletic 3-0 in Turner's Cross, and Kerry, who had such a fantastic win over Sligo Rovers in the quarter final, were beaten 6-1 by Shamrock Rovers. So that was the end of the fairy tale for Kerry. But they got into the semi final, which was equipped them well. So you have Cork City playing Shamrock Rovers in the final. Shamrock Rovers are the overwhelming favourites to win the double, both the league and the cup in Ireland. And but they are a fully professional outfit, and that's no surprise either. You know, if you're training, if you're in train 5 or 6 days a week as opposed to two, well, you're bound to have an edge.
Oh yeah, without a doubt,
Bound
without
to
it.
have an edge, you know?
And it's all the other things that go with it as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, all the other facilities that you have available to you
yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's a huge advantage to be a full-time club as opposed to a part-time club.
Yeah, yeah, there's no doubt about it, you know. So we have our manager from Iceland of the national side. Um, I don't know what system he's looking at in the last few games. I couldn't make it out, you know. I couldn't make out what system we're playing in Ireland. Maybe I'm stupid, am I?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen them, so
Yeah,
we didn't get those games. So, but you know, it still comes down to what players you have and what have you, and you know, players showing up. I mean, it's particularly disappointing when you lose a game to Armenia, one that you really think you should be winning, you
yeah.
know, and that
But
puts such a downer on you.
you're right, and not in losing it, but they played very badly, very poor. The play in the game was very, very poor from Ireland, you know.
Yeah.
And the performance I'm talking about, and as you said, if they get a performance, a positive performance against Portugal, regardless of the result, if there's an upward trajectory in the graph for Ireland, that it'll be worthwhile, you know. Hopefully they can, you know. Hopefully they can. I don't know. Hopefully they can. I think it's Saturday. It's on, is it? It's
So yeah,
Saturday.
it'll be really disappointing if the game against Portugal gets out of hand. You know, if we
So if
yeah,
it's a free fall, you're talking about a
yeah,
free fall.
yeah, that would be, I mean, that would be kind of verging on disastrous for us after the last result. So
Well, if Portugal, I mean, they have decent players. They have Bruno Fernandes. They have Ronaldo. They have who else have they? A few.
well, I
Pe-
mean, they have a good team. I mean, they have some top class players playing for them. Uh, what's his name? Bernardo Silva plays for him, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. They have
Yeah.
a decent team,
So
and if they do a number on the Republic, I think
yeah,
it'll be curtains for the manager.
yeah. Well, you know, but again, it's like who do we go and get? We've been down the road of
I
um,
thought I thought John O'Shea was hard done by.
yeah. I mean, I
I'm
don't think
not saying I'm not saying he would qualify us for the World Cup, but he knows all the players. He's been around the players a long, long time.
yeah,
In my
Yeah.
He has knowledge of the players and of their temperament and who gets on with who and all of that, you know. I think he
Yeah,
should have.
but I mean, we were down that road before as well with Brian Kerr. You know, he knew all the young players. They'd won the Euros with him, with Duffer and O'Shea and all those guys. And then, you know, when they came to full international, results didn't exactly go our way
No.
with it. We went for the big money guys like Trapp and then
Yeah,
Martin and Roy. And then you go with Stephen Kenny, who everybody is, you know, the press gets on their high horse about, well, oh, League of Ireland guys should get a chance at this, that, and the other. But international football is a totally different animal than the League of Ireland. And if you haven't, you
in
know,
any top match, really, in any top
yeah,
match, yeah.
and if you haven't played it or been around it enough, then you're I think you're going to struggle. I mean, and I think it's, you know, it's two things. It's the lack of quality of players that we've got, and um, there's nothing you can do about that. The only thing you can do with that is get them organized, get them into a good frame of mind, and get them to give 100% in the hope you're going to get a result out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's really kind of, I think, where we're at with it. You know, we've got to be like the Armenia thing. We've got to be getting results from places like that. You know, the big guys, you hope to give it your best shot, and if you can nick a draw out of it, that's great. If you can win it, absolutely fantastic. But you know, it's the other games that um, you've got to be getting the results in those, because let's be very honest, we're not going to go back to the quarterfinal of the World Cup anytime soon.
Well, it's an unlikely scenario in the future.
Right. And
I-
in the very
I-
foreseeable future, it's highly unlikely.
I-
So again, it's like you just have to start somewhere with getting results and picking up the ones that you need to pick up, and doing well in the ones that uh, you were expected not to get a result, but maybe make one every now and again, and build yourself up from that standpoint. Um, and uh, unfortunately, that's a position we find ourselves in. So that's what we have to do.
Yeah, and I agree with you there, George. Totally agree with you. We wish them well. We hope that they can get something out of the Portugal game. I mean, I have my own misgivings. I just hope they can. I
Yeah,
hope they can. I hope they can perform as a team. And I tell you, nothing less than 3 points against Armenia, no matter what happens against Portugal, is acceptable. Acceptable. And I think, I think these two games will determine whether we have a new manager or not.
yeah. But again, I mean, where are we going to go? I mean, are we going to go with John, or are we going to go with Duffer, or him and Duffy, or what's his name? Sorry, not him and Duffy. The
Damien
judge.
Duff,
Sorry.
Damien Duff.
Yeah. So I mean, are we going to go with those guys? I mean, at least they have experience of international football, but
John
it's
O'Shea
still
and Damien Duff. Yeah,
yeah, but it's still the players that you've got, and
yeah,
maybe they can motivate those guys to get a little bit more out of them,
yeah.
and go from there. So it's going to be interesting, and it could possibly get tougher before it gets better.
Yeah.
And I mean that's not being negative to them. It's just a realism of where we are with it. I mean, there'll be nobody cheering harder for them than me because I want to see us do well. I
I do
want to see
too.
us do well.
But on the other hand, if they lost the two matches, it will
Yeah.
be it will be an unmitigated disaster
Well,
because
it would be terrible. I mean, for sure. And I, where do you go from there? I mean, where do you go from there?
I don't
Um,
know. I don't know. We go to Seattle for the manager, will
yeah, no. So, but you know, I mean, it's still we. I think the next few years, short term, is about trying to get as many good results as we can because we do have the potential of some young guys coming through in the Premier League. They
we
are
have
they
we have
are good
we
clubs.
have the nucleus of a good team.
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
if everything works and they're not having to be thrown into it too early, then there might be a ray of sunshine at the end of it. But it just might get harder before it gets better.
Well, we all we can do here is wish them well, and
Yeah.
we genuinely hope they'll get 4 out of 6 points. We hope they will, and I have a different foreboding about it myself, but you never know. You never know. I mean, sometimes a team can raise their game simply because of the opposition, like Portugal. They know they have to be really up for it and concentrated, as players. They're really up for it, But we hope the evergreen Ronaldo doesn't score a hat trick against us.
Yeah, we hope so. But you're right. I mean, a game, a game like Portugal, match like Portugal, should not need anybody to be motivated. You should be motivated yourself. I mean, like all this stuff that people talk about with, well, they don't motivate the players. I'm sorry, but players motivate themselves.
They do, yeah.
If you're not motivated from the start, why are you even there?
Yeah.
Why are you even there? If you're not motivated to get out there and compete and do your thing, then why are you playing a competitive sport? At the highest level. So you getting up for those games is the easy one. It's getting up for the likes of uh, Armenia, where it doesn't look great. It's maybe
Well,
not the nicest place to be. I don't know. I've never been there, so I
saying
don't.
that, it's Armenia. I watched that match, and Armenia, as I said, I'm not an expert, but watching the game, I thought they had some very decent players on the team. And I thought they played a nice brand of soccer, Armenia themselves, against us, you know?
It that's. I mean, that's interesting because I was going to ask. I didn't see the game, so I really, but I do know that I did a comparison last year about when the Irish team was playing, and about the size in population of countries that were similar to us. And
Yeah.
how their teams were doing compared to ours, and um, it just seems that when you look at them, that their organization, their associations seem to do a better job from top to bottom of developing players.
They have something like 68 full-time coaches. We have a half a dozen or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that that is a deficit already, We're already
Well,
behind.
I mean, it is a deficit, and for sure and the guys that when you have the amount that we have, the guys are you know, between pillar and post, and what have you. So my daughter came in the back way so she wouldn't interrupt it, and the dogs went mad.
It's all right. It's all right.
You
Are
know,
they,
guys
they're, not,
just,
they're not hungry, are they?
oh yeah, well, one of them is, yeah, she's not feeling too good. But, you know, our guys can't possibly make a huge difference with the few of them that are involved. You know, there's just too much ground to cover um, to get everyone on the same page. And then, you know, I mean, we had something there the other week where they were talking about getting a unified calendar for school by soccer. And
Yes.
then they turned around and said, well, we don't have to do it if you don't want to. You know, so some signed up for it and some didn't. So we can't even get our own groups to go in the right direction because there's too many people going to miss out
Yeah,
on,
that's
you know,
true. That's
that,
true.
that are involved in it. And if the FAI come in and they start taking over all these things, then guys that have been involved in clubs for years will start saying, you know, well, we don't need this, we don't need that because we're doing this, we're doing that. But the, in the finish, it all comes down to what's the actual national team looking like, you know, and how many players do we have? Are we producing that are playing at the top level on a regular basis?
Yeah.
And we don't have that many, and that has got to be there's got to be a huge cultural shift for that to happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so
Well,
I don't have the answer for it. I see,
excuse me.
yeah, sure. I see what's happening here, and I see the way the game is here, where it's essentially it's paid to play,
Yeah.
and they're not. I mean, they're turning out some good players, but a country the size of the US should be way better than
Well,
it.
they should have a national team that would be able to compete with many teams around the world.
Yeah,
And they struggle at times to beat teams like Australia, New Zealand in their group, you know, or whatever group they're in, I don't know. But they're hosting, so they're qualified for the World Cup, you know.
right.
Yeah.
And
So,
they're having problems there as well, you know.
yeah.
Uh, and it's blaming the coach, you know, the coach doesn't do this, coach doesn't do that. And again, it's
So we have the World Cup next year,
right.
and I saw today that FIFA did not ban Israel from international football. We spoke not about Israel, but we spoke about banning teams, Joe.
Right.
Uh, we spoke about getting involved in politics and in sport. It's a no-no, irrespective of who they are, you know. And
Yeah.
in fairness to FIFA, they did the right thing because where would it stop? Where would it stop? You know,
Well, I mean, yeah, but haven't they banned Russia?
they have, but just for
You
but for
know,
this,
so what's the difference between one and
I
another?
know as I said, I know it when the man was asked the question. And for people looking at this program, you should tune into. I'd say to be on YouTube. The Infantino, the FIFA president, gave gave a question and answer about it. You know, but I
But
don't know.
but then you have the Olympics. They ban Russia from the Olympics, but the individual athletes come in and compete.
They did under an international flag. Well,
Yeah,
they well Russia now was banned from the Olympics because of the chronic doping
right.
that went on in the thing. They're one country. There's doping going on in every country. I don't care what they say, to some degree or another. You know. But anyway, they made an example of Russia. But look, since we get into the long discussion about it in some program, maybe I
Yeah,
don't know.
right. It's
And
that's
we have been talking about doping in different sports.
yeah,
Uh,
that's that's a big hole into nothing right there if you start doing that stuff. So best off to stay away from it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. They don't open Irish soccer, unfortunately, so we have no chance at all of qualifying for the World Cup. And there's only a throwaway match. It's only funny. But anyway, Joe, we've come to the end of another show on theirmedia.tv. All the information is there, and thanks to the people who took the time to watch it. And we'll be here again next Monday night, like Cooner Day, and hopefully we'll have a point or two in the bag, will we? We'll be optimistic.
We will be optimistic.
Yeah, but from Joe Waters and myself to a meeting in next Monday night. Take care, guys, and have a good week of sport.
Take care, Pat. Bye.
Bye bye, Joe.